Good evening, my friends. Tonight, I'm going to share some exciting stuff and some stuff that we really need to hear. Some stuff that is a word for America right now in our time. Matthew 13:24, and it says, another parable Jesus put forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? From where then came the tares? He said unto them, An enemy has done this. The servants said, What would you want us to do? Do you want us to go and gather them up? But he said, No, don't go and grab them, because if you take up the tares, you will pull up the wheat with them also. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. And I just think this is what we need to hear, okay? While we were sleeping, when the men slept, the enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. When you look out in America today, and we know, okay, we really are a Christian nation. You know, the church really was at a certain point doing what it was supposed to do. But there was a point in time where the church fell asleep, okay? And while they were sleeping, the enemy came and sowed all these tares. And now we're living in a time where we're seeing all the tares that the enemy sowed grow up. And we're tempted to be like praying, Lord, Lord, okay, remove the tares. But the Lord's like, no. This is a consequence, first of all, for you sleeping. And I can't uproot the tares because you allowed them to be sown while you were sleeping as a church, and now we're stuck with it. It just has to grow up together until the end, okay? And so we're living in this time where we're having to watch the enemy prosper. We're having to watch all these tares sprout up and bear fruit, the fruit that the enemy had plotted, the fruit of destruction, the fruit of the madness that we see going on in the world today is a consequence of the church having been asleep. But you know what? It's okay, because it's time to wake up. Okay? It's time for us to wake up and get to work. It just because we're having to live with the tares, that doesn't mean that it's time to roll over or give up or just accept defeat. No, it's time to be the wheat. It's time to be the ones who usher in a revival or even the judgment that comes to gather those tares, that they can be thrown into the fire. And God is willing to execute judgment. God is known by the judgment that he executes. And if we could just persevere and be patient and press in and start getting to work and start doing what the Lord has called us to do, let's actually live like a church that's awake. Let's actually live like a church that doesn't sleep and doesn't fall asleep at the wheel and doesn't not set up and keep watch in the night and keep the enemy from doing the things that he's doing and not letting the enemy get a foothold in our life. Let's live like the church that doesn't sleep but is always on guard and sober and doing the work that Jesus has given us to do. And let's watch God do something great in our time. Amen.